Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're doing amazing. We're going to do a fun little Epimetheus video. This is called Tamerlane and the history of the Timurid Empire. Hope you're doing well. My name is Shields, and today we're going to learn about something I don't really know too much about. Tamerlane, as he's known. The only thing I really know about this is it was in the Middle East, particularly probably like Iran. And there's some sort of relation between him and Genghis Khan. Don't know the relation. Were they brothers? Probably not, since this guy lived in the 14th century. But yeah, let's see what we got. Love Epimetheus.
Transoxania is the land situated north of the Oxus River and south of the Jaxartes. It is the birthplace of one of the most successful and infamous conquerors ever to have lived. Born into an unimportant tribe in an obscure corner of the world with little prospects or connections, a young Timur turned to a life of petty crime, stealing cattle and sheep whenever he could. During one such attempted theft, he was shot in the hand and leg by an attentive shepherd. These injuries would never fully heal. He would carry them for the rest of his life.
Oh, think about it. What we're about to learn could have been thwarted if that shepherd had better aim.
Giving him the nickname Timur the Lame.
Oh! That's the reason for that. The lame could mean like disability, could mean limp. Okay.
Or Tamerlane, as he is known in the West. The Mongol successors of Genghis Khan had dominated much of Eurasia in the century preceding his rise to power. With the exception of the Golden Horde, these great Mongol powers became increasingly dominated by their own subjects. In the 1330s, the Ilkhanate, with its heavily urbanized population, was severely ravaged by the Black Death, with the Il Khan and his sons being killed by the plague, which led to the rapid disintegration of the Ilkhanate into various small petty states. In the Chagatai Khanate, power passed to localized chieftains of largely Turkic or mixed Turco-Mongol descent, with the Chagatai Khan taking on an increasingly diminished role. As order increasingly gave way to chaos, plague, and anarchy, Timur began his ascent to power. With only 7 followers and 4 horses at his command, he successfully played off the tribal chiefs of Transoxania against each other for his own benefit, serving as a mercenary commander. When Tughlaq Khan of the Chagatai invaded Transoxania to restore order, Timur switched sides and supported the invading Khan. Initially rewarded with the governance of Transoxania,
He's an opportunist?
Timur fled to what is now Afghanistan, when the Khan replaced him with his son. Although illiterate, Tamerlane was fluent in Persian, Mongolian, and Turkic languages, which he used to great effect in gathering all manner of malcontents to his cause. With a small but highly motivated nomadic force loyal to him, he successfully conquered Transoxania, and after having his brother-in-law murdered, he became the sole ruler there. A year later, in 1370, Tamerlane took the Arabic title Emir, meaning commander, lacking the prestige to take the title Khan or Caliph, which were associated with the descendants of Genghis Khan and Muhammad. Since Timur was not a descendant of Genghis Khan, he found one and installed him as a puppet Khan with no real power. Over the next decade, he consolidated his rule over Central Asia. After accomplishing this, he then turned south, taking Khwarezm in Afghanistan in the late 1370s. He then moved west, easily sweeping aside the myriad of tiny emirates that had been squabbling over the ruins of the Ilkhanate. Throughout the 1380s, all resistance was brutally crushed. Many cities with formidable defenses
Golly, this thing's gotten huge.
surrendered without a fight, fearing being subjected to the sadistic slaughter that Tamerlane had become infamous for inflicting, such as mass beheading, burning, or burying alive of a city's population. In the early 1390s, Timur conquered Mesopotamia and Baghdad, the former capital of the Islamic world.
This thing is huge. Just like in a few years, they're able. I mean, there was a huge power vacuum here, so they had a huge advantage. But still, to be able to just do this with such ease, The only time I could imagine this could happen is after a power vacuum like the Black Death.
Year after year, he continued to push westward, his only respite being the occasional campaign against the Golden Horde, who had raided the north of his realm. He installed Toktemish, a Khan he believed would be loyal to him, as head of the Golden Horde.
He believed. Uh-oh.
From Egypt to Anatolia, a frenzied panic consumed the populace and its leaders. As Tamerlane ravaged what is now Syria, Toktemish betrayed him and the Golden Horde invaded yet again. This time, Tamerlane moved north, with overwhelming force. His army of 100,000 indiscriminately destroyed towns, villages, and cities. Toktemish was deposed by his own people, after Tamerlane won a string of decisive victories during his 2-year campaign. Tamerlane had no desire to rule over the arid northwestern steppelands, but only to secure his northern border, which he did. The devastated Golden Horde would never recover.
Do you think this is part reason on why the Golden Horde declined and why states like, what do you call it? Moscow started to rise?
And would diminish and fragment soon after. Timur then began to receive reports of internal instability in what was arguably the wealthiest empire on the planet at the time, the Delhi Sultanate. Taking advantage of this, he then carried out one of the greatest feats of pure destruction and accumulation of plunder in world history. In 1398, he crossed the Indus River and attacked the Delhi Sultanate without warning. Confronted with the Sultan's formidable force of elephants clad in chainmail with poison-tipped tusks, Tamerlane countered, with charging camels carrying piles of wood and burning hay on their backs. The flaming, screaming camels caused the elephants to panic and...
Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy right here. The units alone used in this, a poison-tipped tusk, chain-mailed elephant, war elephant. And we've seen this way before. We've done a lot of videos on war elephants, whether it be the Punics or stuff even after that. Those are formidable creatures. Azaic elephants, Asian elephants are very similar to like the North African elephant version, very similar in size, stature, and all that. But they put burning kamikaze camels is what we'll call it. Kamikaze camels, which, how do you direct them is the question. Like, how do you know that they're going to go towards your target? If they're burning alive, basically. Maybe I'm looking too deep into this, but that's insane.
Disperse in all directions. Tamerlane slaughtered many hundreds of thousands of soldiers and civilians during the campaign, killing 100,000 prisoners in a single instance.
What? Of course, these numbers could be inflated, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But still, this is insane. He was able to conquer the entire Middle East, basically, besides the Arab world, and then repel the Golden Horde, and then cross the Indus River and slaughter hundreds of thousands of people. There's a lot more to this story. We can't. Guys, go ahead and put some video suggestions down below. There's got to be a lot more to this story. How did he keep this empire intact during all these very taxing campaigns?
In less than 3 months, Timur captured Delhi and departed back to Samarkand, his army laden with the treasure of India, leaving the land in chaos and destruction.
Wow.
In Tamerlane's conquests, he routinely slaughtered the entire civilian population of a city, although he did spare scholars, engineers, and artisans, taking them back to beautify his capital city.
So, all in all, this guy was Mr. Genocide.
Timur had declared that his campaign in India was a holy war, calling himself the Sword of Islam. But seen as his victims, from Anatolia to beyond the Indus
Or all Islam.
River, were nearly all Muslims. The more appropriate description that became associated with him became the Prince of Destruction. The wrath of Tamerlane turned west.
I like that a lot better because that makes more sense.
West yet again. Baghdad led Mesopotamia's cities in revolt. And as you might expect by this point, this ended with the city's population being massacred. To the west of Timur's empire lay the Egyptian Mamluk Sultanate and the rapidly growing Ottoman Empire. Its sultan, Bayezid, known as the Thunderbolt, had been besieging the surrounded city of Constantinople for 8 years. Bayezid also spent years exchanging letters with Timur, typically insulting each other's manliness. This likely contributed to Timur launching a full-scale invasion into Anatolia instead of Egypt, whom he was also at war with. And ultimately, the Battle of Ankara, where two massive armies clashed, with heavy casualties on either side, and ended with the defeat and capture of Bayezid, who
What?
died while in captivity. Timur's ambitions
Oh
only
my god, this guy's way more productive than Genghis ever was. I don't care what you say. This maybe I'm over my head, but this guy is productive.
increased with his age. The next target on his hit list was Ming China, who had driven
No shot.
out their Mongol overlords. Likely in his 70s, he set out on campaign to outdo Genghis Khan, connecting Anatolia to China. He planned for the remnants of the Chagatai Khanate and Mongols of the Eastern Steppe to join him in this campaign. That would be the crowning achievement of his life. It would not come to pass, as he fell victim to the common cold before crossing the Chinese border.
He died to the damn cold. Of course he did.
The splendor and the horror of his life had come to an end. He was the last great nomadic conqueror before the age of gunpowder. During Timur's life, he directly caused the deaths of an estimated 7 to 20 million people.
What?
Or 5% of the world's population at the time. Following Timur's death in 1405, his family quickly fell into disputes that led to civil war, during which time many of the regional governors in the west gained independence. Tamerlane's son and grandson commanded the loyalty of most of the army. His son, Sharuka, won the civil war and ruled for more than 40 years, during which time Samarkand became the center of Persian culture, as all the deported scholars, scientists, and
Where's Samarkand in modern day? Is this like Kyrgyzstan or something? I don't think it's it's definitely not in Afghanistan. It's above Afghanistan.
artisans of the Iranian plateau had been moved to
I can
the
look it
city.
up.
Many scholars have called this period the Timurid Renaissance. Shahrukh also normalized relations with the Chinese, setting up embassies with them and trading often, and focused more on maintaining his fragile empire rather than waging wars of conquest. Shahrukh's son, Mirza Mohammad Shahrukh, was an accomplished astronomer, mathematician, and sultan that succeeded his father to the throne and became known as Ulugh Beg, meaning great ruler. Although his reign was short, his accomplishments in astronomy-related mathematics, trigonometry, and spatial geometry have gained him a lasting reputation. His life spent away from politics, focused on science, came at a cost. After putting down one rebellion,
That's pretty cool.
civil war erupted again. His son raised an army to depose him and was victorious. Ulugh Beg decided to surrender rather than continue the war. His son accepted, but within a short time, he ordered that his father be slain.
Just ruthless.
While making pilgrimage to Mecca, he then ordered that his brother be killed a few days later. His reign was only 6 months, as he was killed by his cousin.
Who would have thought?
But he did earn the nickname Pater Kush, Father Killer, in the annals of history. The Timurid Empire's demise was slowed by a couple of competent rulers, but was slowly and effectively pushed back on multiple fronts, most notably by the Safavid Persians from the south and the Uzbeks from the north, who conquered the key cities of Herat and Samarkand, ending the great empire
Might have been Uzbekistan, yeah.
that a crippled livestock thief had built over a century before. The Timurid Empire saw the synthesis of Mongol, Persian, Turkic, and Islamic societies. The goals, methods, and ideology of the Mongols were combined with Islamic religion, Turkic language, and Persian bureaucratic structure and culture. This amalgamation would influence the later Safavid Persians, and in the 16th century, one of Tamerlane's descendants would found the Empire of the Great Mughals of India that would have a profound impact on that country for centuries to come. If you enjoyed this video,
So, what did we learn today, people? We learned about the Timurid Empire. Let's go back to like it's like where the borders were like the greatest real quick. This is fine. First off, this guy's crazy. Like, not like, he's crazy. No, this guy's literally crazy. You have to be crazy to dehumanize millions of people. And I'm at a kind of like a crossroads, guys. A lot of times you think of people that, you know, proclaim conquests and such, and you think of them as greats, right? I think Tamerlane or Timur the Lame is a perfect name because he was quite lame, in my opinion. To slaughter millions of people, first off, in the name of Islam, and you killing like millions that are Muslim, that's contradictory to your entire cause, and seems more of an excuse to exert power than anything. He's not a good person by any means. You can't defend this guy. If you create a defense, you're just wasting your time. You really are wasting your time. You're not seeing the forest for the trees here. This guy was just a stain on the earth, a stain on the earth, a true stain on the earth. Now, not to say that we can't learn from this and we can't enjoy the history of this, but he was a stain on the earth to just indiscriminately just massacre millions of people during a power vacuum such as the Black Death, and exert his power and kill hundreds and thousands and millions of civilians who had no projected cause for his grievances. So anyway, we learned about that. We learned about his empire, and it was quite impressive militarily to rival the Ottomans. I imagine this is right before the Ottomans actually grew. We don't know too much about the Ottomans quite yet. We will get to there. I promise you, we'll get there. But to rival the Ottomans, we really didn't say rival the Mamluks, but to rival the Delhi Sultanate, cross the Indus River Valley, cross the Indus River. It's quite a crazy thing. I'd love to see what he could have done against Ming Dynasty China. I don't know what would have happened. It would have been a formidable task, especially at that old in his. You know for a fact that it wasn't him; it was his system that worked. So that's more that we should look at. So, guys, thesis here. What an interesting fellow. Probably not a good guy for the world. Good thing that he didn't make it to China. But let's learn more about him. Let's learn more about the Timurid dynasty, the Timurid Empire, and then what came of it. Leave me some video suggestions down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.